Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary O'Connor with the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks to Alaska Public Media for allowing us to bring you hangar flying. This evening, we are pleased to have back on our program Matt Freeman. Matt's an airport project engineer with the FAA's Airports Division here in Anchorage. Welcome back to Hangar Flying, Matt.
Thank you, Mary. It's good to be here.
So we're going to continue talking a little bit more about this project that helps pilots practice and hone their skills for precision landings and takeoffs in a measured and controlled environment before they go out and do off-airport operations. So Matt, which airports have runways that are marked this season?
Right now, Fairbanks International Ski Strip, and then also Nenana turf runway. So actually the paint markings, instead of being placed on gravel, they're on turf first.
That's great. Any chance of getting any airports closer to Anchorage marked?
Well, I'd love to see them. We do have, there are modifications to standards for the Wasilla gravel runway, the Palmer Municipal gravel runway, Goose Bay, of course, is gravel, and then there's also a gravel strip down at Soldotna. I think a big part of it is getting volunteers to go out and actually do the work to paint them. I mean, it does take time, it does take resources, and but what we found that when the practice gravel runway markings are out there to be used, pilots really like them. There's really it seems like there's a great benefit of having an area to practice precision takeoff and landings.
So I agree, and I absolutely see the benefit in having this available for pilots, and there are a lot of pilots in the Anchorage Bowl. What does somebody need to do if they're interested in having any of the airports that you mentioned marked and having it made into a practice runway?
Well, of course, we have 6 airports that already have modifications to standards in place. The paperwork's done. The template for marking the gravel runways is done. My suggestion is Tom George seems to be a good connection for knowing groups that are interested in possibly gathering. And it also takes talking to the airport manager and making sure that the resources are set up, the runway can be closed, and the markings actually done to the design standard.
Okay, so we'd need to coordinate with the airport manager. Then it's easier to have a group. Plus, it sounds like a lot of fun to get a group of people to go out and do the marking. And then, obviously, there's getting the word out because we'd want all pilots that are interested in using the runways to know that it's an option.
Well, yes, exactly, and part of that is it seems that the word of mouth gets out fairly quick. I mean, a place like Goose Bay or Palmer, it seems to be a real magnet for people that once they find out those markings are there, they're on them.
So the people that go out and do the actual markings, as you mentioned, they're usually part of a team, but they don't necessarily have to be pilots. It can be friends or even somebody that just likes getting outdoors and doing something that's good with a safety idea in mind. But hooking up with one of these groups would be the best way to do that then.
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's certainly an aviation component to it, and I think that the state of Alaska has with Goose Bay, have brought some of their employees. I've gone over there to help out. They have the truck and the sprayer and so forth. Palmer Municipal, the 99 women's pilots were marking that runway for a while. Wasilla is typically the city that has marked that gravel runway, as well as Soldotna. The city has also has chose to do that work now.
Okay, so there are some great opportunities for engagement with airport managers, airport owners, cities, as well as any of the user groups, which may or may not be pilots.
Yeah, there are, and one of the benefits that we found with these different users groups, and we've seen this in Fairbanks as well as Fairbanks International Airport and others, is that the pilots are actually getting together with airport owner, the operations, and they're interacting, creating some great relationships, and the pilots are actually able to go out physically on the runway when it's closed and work on the runway, and it's a new experience for pilots to actually be, you know, driving a vehicle or walking and working on runway surface. It's pretty exciting for them. It's created just a great network of and connections that we hadn't really expected in the past.
It sounds like a great opportunity all the way around. Matt, thanks for being here. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show, and as always, it's good working with you.
All right, Mary, thank you. It's been great working with you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you've enjoyed our show, and if you are a pilot, perhaps you'll consider marking one of the runways and getting together with management and any of your aviation groups and aviation friends to do so. Thank you for watching Hangar Flying, and thank you to Alaska Public Media for sponsoring us. Until next time, fly safely.